Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD, and I'm here to bring you guys Game 3 between Liquid.Zenio and Slayers.MMA from the Korean Regionals at IPL5. Liquid.Zenio will be the dark green Zerg at the 6 o'clock position. The map is Metropolis in between these two guys, and at the top, we have Slayers.MMA, the red Terran. It is currently tied up 1-1, and getting back to what I was saying, Metropolis, it is a massive map. You know, this is a game where I think we're going to go to the distance. The first two games we had MMA cheesing twice in a row. You know, I think on Entombed Valley it was a little weird for him to cheese because I think it's a good map for Terran against Zerg. The second map, I really think it was weird for MMA to cheese because Ohana is a really good map for Terran, in my opinion. And this is going to be Metropolis here. This is such a massive map. It is not small like Ohana. It's even larger, I think, than Entombed Valley. I really think we're going to have a long one here, guys. So strap yourselves in. Zenio is gonna have to figure out how to deal with the cheeses. He's already gotten cheese twice in a row. First game with the all-in, and then the second game with the double starport. And I wonder, you know, will MMA play macro game? Will he go for cheese? Who knows? We'll have to find out. The thing about this map is it is also really good, I think, for drop play. So MMA can definitely excel in that department. Remember, for a while I was calling him the Marine Medevac Abuser, courtesy of one of the YouTube commenters. They let me know about that awesome acronym. And so I think MMA, if he wants to go for drop play, look at how much open space he's got to work with outside of the skyscrapers in the middle of the map, man. He can maneuver around, and look, he's even got little landing pads. Designated 1, 2, 3, 4, and you know, that's just like a big red-eye bulls target for his medevac drops. And I think, you know, Zenio is gonna have to be very careful about, you know, drop play, not letting the Terran take advantage of that. And it does look like we're gonna have a CC first from MMA. I like that. You know, it's this map, as I said before, big map, and so if there's a big map, that's more incentive to go for a CC first because it's less likely that Zerglings are going to be attacking you anytime soon. It's less likely that you're going to lose control of this command center because of the long travel distance, because of the increased likelihood that Zenio himself might go for a third base very quickly, and so that further kind of propels the situation into a possible macro game here. And we do have a second barracks on the way right now. So that is going to be 2 barracks following up the CC. We'll see if MMA decides to add a third and then up to a fourth. Usually most Terrans go for at least a third barracks. And right now Zenio adding on a spawning pool in between his 2 Vespine geysers. And that's pretty common. You usually want to get a spawning pool around this time. A lot of Zergs, when they see CC first, or when they think a Terran is going to go CC first, they can actually go for a quick third hatchery before getting spawning pool, kind of like the Savior style build. Kind of like what Pha did against Pain User on, I believe it was Antigua Shipyard, when he went for the Broodlord attack. And, you know, you can go for 3 hatches before spawning pool, but it's so risky, you know, because if the Terran doesn't go CC first, then you are in a little bit of trouble because an attack can devastate you, any type of bunker play, and you're pretty much done. But alas, it doesn't look like Zenio went for that. You know, he went for 2 hatches, and he's going to start to make his queens right now. Usually most Zergs queen up like crazy and then start to get the gas around 6 minutes in, very similar to ZVP, except obviously you don't build as many queens in ZVP. And it looks like we are going to have 3 Marines here on the right-hand side. Will that Overlord go down? Oh! The very last shot from one of the Marines takes it out. So that is going to hurt Zenio a bit here as he falls under supply capacity and has to make a second Overlord to make up for that. You know, that especially hurts during this phase if your queens aren't out yet. But thankfully for Zenio, the Overlord went down just after the queens had already been started. So it doesn't look like it hurt Zenio's supply too much, because when you mess up your inject larva timings, if your queens come out a little bit later, that really messes up. It completely foobars a Zerg if they rely a lot on rhythmic timing to play. I know I do, so that can really mess you up, but thankfully it only caused the drones to be a little bit later. And now we have 2 gases coming up, actually 3rd and 4th for Zenio as well. Wow, you know, most Zergs just get the 2 gases here, get speed, and go to lair. But to get the 3rd and 4th gas so quickly, maybe Zenio is going to opt to go for quicker mutas here. We'll see. We'll see. He might just dump them into upgrades for faster upgrades than his opponent. But there is an attack coming from MMA here with Marines and an SCV to boot. And Zenio doesn't really have much but the Queens. But I say that was hesitation because Queens actually really good now with their 5 range. They are insanely good with the conjunction of the Spine Crawler and a good couple of transfuses. I really think Zenio can hold off that kind of Marine pressure quite handily. And now he really should think about spreading out that creep tumors, the creep tumors as well, because the Marines have started to fall back. Anytime the Terran lets off the pressure, you want to start to spread out that creep tumor so that you can build that buffer zone. MMA back at home, meanwhile, has a factory coming up. Looks like we're probably just going to see the standard biomech play that most Terrans go for. 1-1 on the way from the engineering base as well. And watching this game right now, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu because a couple days ago, I think it was just yesterday actually, my sense of time is all messed up from gaming, but just yesterday I was watching the GSL, and you know, nowadays a lot of Terrans, I forgot who the player was, but I was watching the GSL and I was watching a Terran go mass Sky Terran against Zerg. And I think nowadays a lot of Terrans now kind of discovering that, hey, the answer to combating Broodlord Infestor, Corruptor, Broodlord Infestor, whatever hive combination the Zerg goes for, usually Broodlords, obviously, and Infestors. The answer to that now isn't Ghost. It isn't, you know, going for a spread of Biomech and then all these other units and maybe incorporating Thors. Actually, the answer now is Ravens, interestingly enough, and I saw this last time in the GSL. Sorry I'm going off on a major tangent, but I feel it's relative now to the metagame of TVZ. And a lot of Terrans, you know, go for the Raven style now because in TVZ you have such a huge surplus of gas. If you ever notice when you play against a Terran as Zerg, or if you play Terran, you'll notice you'll always have so much gas saved up and you have nothing to spend it on. And like how MVP showed that Ghosts can be good in TVZ, well, Ravens can be really good in TVZ as well for the Seeker Missile, for the PDD. It's insanely good, and then you eventually make that switch from Biomech into Ravens, Vikings, and eventually Battle Cruisers, and it works out really well. So that's actually kind of the shift now in late game TVZ, and Terrans finally have something to call a late game of their own. They have strength in the late game, and it's kind of being discovered right now, and it's being fleshed out, but maybe we'll see that happen from MMA here. We'll see. I think I went off on a really long tangent there, but you know, it's always fun to keep up to date and let you guys know, you know, what's going on out there in the StarCraft world, what the pro players are starting to use, because you never know, it might happen in this game. So getting back here, we do have Baneling Nest finishing up the centrifugal hooks, +2/+2 coming out from the Evo Chamber, about on time with the 2/2 from the Terran. So the upgrade's about on par here. Pathogen glands being researched, so we'll see Infestors within the minute or so. But MMA's planning to make an attack here, and luckily for him, it's going to be before Infestors even finish their pathogen glands or even come out on the field. So MMA is going to get a free pick-off of a bunch of creep tumors here, which is really nice. Zenio tries to come back to defend, has Zerglings and Banelings. He's on the creep. He's going to be able to push these Marines and Marauders back, but will not commit. And I don't think he should have, because once you approach the edge of the creep, that's when the Zerglings and Banelings become a lot less effective. And you don't want to chase off creep against stimmed up Marines under the medevac. Now it looks like MMA going to go ahead and drop inside the main, and Zenio gets a great surround. And he's going to be able to deflect the 2 medevacs. Nice play by Zenio, who is now going up to the 4th base. Feels like he's been able to deflect the traditional timed Terran attack, and will be able to go into a full-on macro game here with 4 bases. That is 8 gases to operate on for Zenio, and starting to make a lot of use of that gas into those Infestors and going up to Hive Tech now. Likewise, you know, MMA really needs to get the 3rd base mining. He needs to get out you know, more of his tanks. I haven't really seen that many tanks at all from MMA. In fact, he's not even opting to go for tanks, period. Just going to go for pure bio. And I've mentioned this before. If you go for pure bio, much more mobile. You can drop a lot. And if you go for pure bio without tanks, you should be dropping a lot. Because your army will not stand toe-to-toe against a Zerg army when you clash. It's kind of like ZVP. You know, a Zerg needs to go around the main army. You cannot go head-to-head. And so MMA here needs to be aggressive, needs to get in there and do damage. Thankfully for him, his supply is just great. It's 159 to 146. I don't really know how that happened. Does he have like a macro CC he's working off of or something? This is crazy. You know, he's actually down in Harvesters, but he's ahead in supply, so his army is going to be massive here. And Zenio does have Fungal, though. That really is the great balancer in ZBT at this stage. Fungal Growth will just rock your socks off, rock the Marine socks off. And MMA has to be very careful. Spreads out the Marines nice and well. Is going to be able to pick off a couple of the creep tumors once again. And I like that, you know. One thing I've noticed here is he's really denied creep spread from the Zerg side. In fact, it is pretty much halted right here in the middle of the map and will not be allowed to go any further. And now it looks like Zenio gets a great fungal. Oh, wow, what a fungal growth that was. And he gets under the medevacs all amongst the Marines. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough banelings to finish off these Marines, but that fungal was magnificent. It was magical. If only he had one more fungal growth, and he would have been able to take out all these medevacs as well. MMA got to be so glad that there was not enough energy for another fungal growth. Perhaps he even realized it during combat, and he picked off maybe whatever infestor had enough energy to do so, but he just really escaped the bullet right there. Those medevacs are so close to dying. He's going to bring those home to repair pronto and then bring it back out on the battlefield when he feels safe. MMA now going up to a 4th base. It is prudent to note right now that Zerg is on Hive Tech and has opted to go into Ultralisks. Now, the thing about Ultras is it is a great stepping stone into Broodlords. You actually don't want to go right away into Broodlords a lot of times because it's such a hard thing to get up to with the Spire, the Greater Spire, the Corruptors, and then morphing out the Broodlords. That sometimes getting some Ultras out immediately is a great stepping stone, and we can see a lot of Ultras on the way right now. 3-3 and Chitinous plating halfway done, but they will not finish before the Terran army gets their 3-3 first, so MMA still got that upgrade advantage on his side, and I love how he's incorporated Marauders already. He's actually got 10 Marauders out on the field, and that, you know, those are just great units for dealing with Ultralisks. Zenio has to be very careful how he engages, and you do not want to fight in these narrow choke points with Ultras, but he has creep on his side. He gets up in here. Does he have enough Ultras? I really don't think so. More backup coming from the Terran base, and it looks like it's going to be enough to push Zenio back home. Zenio really in a lot of trouble right now as there's a huge glob of Marines and Marauders just inside his base, about to take off a hatchery here, and Zenio gets in with his Ultras. Oh, he's in melee range, cleaving away at the Marines, and my computer decides to get a massive spurt of lag. I have no idea why, and I do apologize, guys, but it looks like my computer is just dying here. What is going on? Apparently that was too awesome for my computer to handle, so I had to restart the game and restart this cast. But here we go, MMA comes in for round 2. And let's see if he picks off the hatchery here. The Ultras get up in melee range. Baneling connects on the south end. Medevac's desperately trying to heal the Marines and Marauders, but Zenio will clean up that attack. And really nice around right there. Maybe MMA getting just a bit greedy there. Got a little close, but he did salvage some of his forces, and he elevates to the top here. Zerglings and Ultras will have to take the long route around. Marauders very good at picking off buildings, but it might not be enough Marauders here to do that. And MMA will once again fall away and retreat whatever he can back home. But wow, if we just look at the supply tabs again, how in the world is MMA so far ahead? 175 supply to 139. Is Zenio just not up to date on the macro? I mean, he's got enough drones. He's not floating too many resources. He is at currently 1,000 gas, but maybe just this constant pressure from MMA, too awesome for my computer to handle, too awesome for Zenio to handle. And it's just all over the place right now. MMA dropping the back of the 4th. Not enough forces here to deal with that. Zenio will have to send more back, and he's bringing some Zerglings in here. 3-3 Zerglings, but the Marines are 3-3 themselves, and immediately MMA elevates down to the low ground. But don't forget, guys, there is an impending attack at the front as well. MMA is just pressuring from all angles right now, and it might just be too much for Zenio to hold onto. It's looking really grim right now. This army is absolutely huge. And MMA is pushing in for the victory. Can Zenio hold on? Can he get enough Ultras and Banelings out? It looks like his hatchery might go down. It's a race for the hatch. The hatch is not getting attacked right now. MMA decides to fall back behind the mineral patches. Will he have enough forces after this massacre of Zerg units? And it looks like, I don't know. It's pretty crazy right now. MMA is going to go ahead and unload one more time. And this time, trying to micro so he can take out this hatchery, but goes for the queen instead. Goes for a couple of drones as well. Workers killed currently at 49-2. Wow! So that actually starts to make a lot of sense where when we factor in why the Zerg doesn't have enough army on the field, it's because he's constantly trying to replace lost drones. 49-2, units lost, 15k to 10k, never good when the Zerg is losing more than the Terran. And he's trying to get up to Greater Spire for Brute Lords right now. Unfortunately, that is revealed by all the Corruptors, which do end up taking out the medevac, but he's going to lose an Ultra Cavern for that trade, and I don't know if that's worth it at all. No more Ultras on the field. Just going to be Brute Lords now for Zenio. Doesn't even have enough to make Brute Lords. I don't know. By the way, guys, I think I saw a nuclear missile being created. If we look at the units tab, there is a nuclear missile in storage. So, wow, MMA is just all over the place. The attack's still going on in the main. I wonder if he's going to drop a nuke or not. He's actually making Ghost right now with the Mobius reactor. He will need Cloak, I think, to successfully pull a nuke off. It actually takes out another hatchery, and I think Zenio's back is about to break, ladies and gentlemen. Even though he's got all these Ultras on the field, and he's about to get Brute Lords out, MMA just totally takes advantage of the power of mid-game Terran and strikes right before the real Hive tech could be realized. And it's just constantly picking up the forces when they're about to die, elevating them to new locations to harass the Zerg. Just pressure from multiple angles. Like I said, man, too awesome for Zenio to handle. My computer gave up its hands and decided to die out on me as well. But this is just insanity. MMA is rickrolling this game right now with his with his nuclear missile. He's making 2 right now to complete his total to 3, and this is going to be a very disastrous end for Zenio, trying to replace the hatcheries on the left side. He doesn't have enough Infestors, I don't think, to play the late game ZVT. You need Infestor Brood Lord. You can't just go Ultra Brood Lord, and uh-oh, there's a Cloaked Ghost in there. Oh man, there's actually a nuclear missile being launched somewhere, and I'm trying to find out where. There it is. Okay, so it was the same Cloaked Ghost, I guess. And it looks like the nuclear missile is probably going to end up landing and striking a bunch of drones right in the face. Crawlers trying to uproot at the last second, were not able to. Meantime, MMA was having a little bit of skirmish at the front door as he was stimming his Marines, and more nuclear missiles coming down as drops are going off all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, the nuke is coming in. The same ghost, man. It's the same murderer. The guy at the scene of the crime is going to escape scot-free, and the nuke lands and murders millions of drones. It's a genocide. MMA is owning Zenio right now. Zenio might just have to say, screw it, I'm going in with everything I've got, and I hope I can maybe turn the tables, but no, you can't. You cannot. MMA's just got too much to handle right now. And another, did I hear another nuclear missile? I know I just heard another nuclear. Oh yeah, I heard another missile. And it is going to come down. And I guess it was canceled? I don't know what's going on right now. I think he's just launching defensive nukes because this nuke guarantees that this army will not be attacked in the back. So that's pretty much what it is. And, the ghost was killed at the very last second. Wow. I guess Zenio really took a risk right there to go in there to take out this army, but hey, he's already so far behind. Why not? I'll have to rewind to watch that to see how close that actually was at 25 minutes in. But MMA, even if he loses this army, it doesn't really matter, man. He's done so much damage already. GG! Korean GG calls Zenio! And MMA takes the victory, and I really want to see how close that was, because that was a defensive nuke. Completely designed to prevent the backstab from Zenio's army. MMA had that completely planned out. Actually, it was really smart. And here we are. Let's see. All right, nuke comes in, and it is not cloaked. That's why MMA should have actually kept the ghost cloaked, because super obvious that Zenio just goes in and takes it out. So it wasn't that close. But really good game right there by MMA. Just clobbering Zenio and showing him the door out. And it looks like MMA going to take the victory here in the Korean regionals from IPL5. I really hope you guys enjoyed these casts. My pleasure to bring you guys games from whatever level, especially the high level, I think. Those are the ones that really have a lot of fun casting as well. And I think I'll be bringing a couple more replays from this pack because there's so many good names in here. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to check out the IPL where this tournament, where these replays came from, and I'll see you guys in the near future. This is HD StarCraft signing out.